The first time that I heard West Ham were willing to swap both Nayef and Kurt Zouma in exchange for Jean-Clair Todibo, I thought, no, this is ridiculous. Because, look, some transfer rumours you believe almost instantly. Some of them you dismiss instantly. Some of them have legs, some of them don't. But, you've got your own filter system, right? It's not even so much trusted sources. It's just some transfer deals sound so ridiculous and so preposterous that you dismiss them out of hand. And that's what I did when I heard. And there's a number of reasons for it. Firstly, West Ham have we've just signed Max Kilman. It's going to be ratified. He's passed his medical. I think he's signed some of the documents. The registration's not done yet. Could be done at some point today. The media team might leave it because England are playing. We'll discuss that later, by the way. But I thought because we're just going to spend £40 million on a centre-back, the chance of us going and spending again, or at least big again, would be just incredibly unlikely. We'd also heard yesterday that we had to sell. We had to sell one of our defenders before we went and bought another one. And I think just common sense tells you, look, if we want two defenders, one of them's going to be a 30, 40 million pound player. One of them's going to be an up-and-comer, right? That makes more sense. So that's one of the reasons I dismissed it. I think the main reason was it just seems preposterous. Nayef Aguerd and Kurt Zouma to Nice. Why would the players want to do this overly complicated deal? And why would Nice want to do it? And I'm not going to start now discussing why I think there might be some merits in it. It still does sound preposterous, but I lessened slightly. But what I think it does do is show quite how desperate West Ham are to offload. It's not so much Zouma. I know we're desperate. I know we want to offload Zouma, but at the end of the day, he's got 1 year left on his current deal. We're not going to give him the option. There's not a massive liability there. I don't think panic is setting in because of the Zouma situation. I do think that perhaps a little bit of panic is setting in with the Nayef Aguerd situation, though. So, do I believe that Nice will accept this transfer offer, this 2-for-1 offer? No, I don't. Do I believe that West Ham have offered it? Yes, I do. I do. I just do. I don't know what it is. It's my inner filtration system. Sounds very plummy, doesn't it? Alex Garcia, I believed it. I believed we were in for him. I just did. It seemed to carry weight. It seemed to make sense. Some of them you just sort of disbelieve and disregard. But I think we'd chance our arm. I think we'd try it. And I think, well, I'll tell you why I don't think Nice would take the offer. Because the wages are just too big. Actually, when you think about it, you think, well, obviously Zouma was a French international. He's French. He'd go back home, not a problem. Nayef Aguerd, well, we bought him from France. All right, he's a Moroccan international, but he's lived a large part of his life in France. French speaking. Why not? We bought him from Stade Rennais. And I'd imagine his stock is quite high. We didn't buy a complete donkey from France. Far from it. He was in the top percentile for a couple of things, and he was in the top 5 for most things when we bought him as a centre-half from France. There's a reason that we paid big money for him. So would they be interested in those players? Yeah, maybe they would. But both of them, do they want 2 centre-backs? I don't know. I don't know the situation that they've got there in their defence. The wages would be a massive problem, though, wouldn't they? They really would. Zouma is one of the highest earners, second, third highest earner at West Ham, well over 100 grand a week. I think Zouma probably knows whoever he signs for next. So in 12 months' time, he's not going to get that. But they're still asking him to give up quite a big salary for the remaining year. So I actually think that just offering the players is probably not enough. We probably have to sweeten the deal. We probably have to subsidise the wages in some way, shape or form. And when you start thinking about that, it gets so overly complicated. You just think there's no way that they can do this deal, really. But then I start thinking about Aguerd and just look at how have you ever listed something on eBay and it doesn't sell? Actually, it's my car on Auto Trader at the moment. But you list something and it doesn't sell, and then you keep dropping the price, and you get a bit of panic on. You think this thing's just not gonna sell. And I think this is what's going on with Nayef Aguerd at the moment. And I'm aware that I do constantly and consistently compare football transfers to eBay transfers and auctions and negotiations. But look, I've never bought anyone in real time in football. It's all I've got to go on. But there's an air of desperation when you get there, isn't there, really? And And I think West Ham are showing that now. I think we started off, there was very much out of our chest puffed out. We were quite cocksure, actually, that what we were going to do was we were going to sell this guy. And 38 million was the rumoured amount. And I remember thinking at the time, and I mentioned it on this channel, I'm going to get close. No one's going to give us £38 million for Nayef Aguerd. When we bought him for 30, he was probably overpriced. I don't think we were completely ripped off. I think he's a very good player, as I've already mentioned, for the right team. But it's hard to argue that he has increased his value since he got here, right? You just can't. Mohamed Kudus has increased his value since he got here. Nayef Aguerd, no, he just hasn't. He's been injury prone. He's had some pretty calamitous games. There's been success. He's won a European trophy, for goodness sake. So it's not been a failure of a transfer. Far from it. But I thought, well, I thought if we get 20 million for him, we'd probably be doing all right on that one. But now you look at the climb down on it. The big bucks, the big mega deal from Saudi has not materialised. No one's come sniffing. It turns out all the other big clubs who are looking for centre-backs are looking for somebody else that's not Nayef Aguerd. And we now have this player. I don't just think it's the club, by the way. I think it's the player himself as well. I think he was quite cocksure. I'm going to change agents, I'm going to get the transfer and all the rest of it. He changed agents, and then quite some period after he changed agents, he released a statement saying he changed agents. I just think there's just not, it's like that eBay auction, there's just not the interest that you think there is. And have you ever watched the eBay auction when there's like 20 minutes left and you watch it and you're waiting for it? It's quite exciting, actually. You're waiting for someone to come in with a last minute bid, and sometimes it doesn't happen. And I think that's what we're doing at the moment. Smacks of pure desperation, I think, offering, if we have, and as I say, I sort of believe we have. I don't blame them for doing it. I've been old desperate damn myself before on the eBay and whatnot. So I guess I don't blame us for doing it, but we might have to rethink our strategy on this. I actually, by the way, I do want to point out, I like the fact that we're at least trying to go for another really big top target, to bring in two. Look, I'm not going to say top class, because not everyone would agree with that. People think we've overpaid for Max Kilman. But if we were to somehow bring in sort of £70 million worth of centre-back, it'd be quite a statement if we could make it work in some way, shape or form. It really would. I thought it was over. I thought it was over for Todibo, but then Dharma Chef on Sky Sports said, no, West Ham is still in. West Ham is still serious. And then some of the other big hitters started wading and saying, no, West Ham still looking to do this deal. And it feels like there's interest. And Fabrizio Romano said that we had made sure that we'd got some sort of affirmation from the player that he wanted to come before making a bid. So before we made our first £25 million bid, apparently we've not tapped him up. I'm not saying that. Whatever the opposite of tapped him up is, but we did that to find out whether he wanted to come to West Ham. And apparently he said yes. That's what Fabrizio Romano said, not my words, Romano's words. So he wants to come. We want him. So it feels like there's something in it. It's just, we can't. Hey, we've all tried to buy something we can't afford, haven't we? And sometimes you just can't afford it. All right. And it's really as simple as that. I want to talk about the England stuff, actually. But before I do, make sure you got your match bingo cards for today. Get your match bingo cards. Got a really good offer today. Basically, buy 3 cards, get 2 for free, basically. So pay for 3, get 5. What's Match Bingo? Well, Match Bingo is the thing we've been banging on about for a long, long time. It's your buddy that you watch the football with these days, really, isn't it? It's that combination of bingo and a combination of football. And what each card gives you is 15 different things that can happen throughout the game. Could be a corner, could be a goal kick, could be a foul, could be a booking, could be any number of benign, normal things that happen during a game. It's not asking for a bicycle kick or anything like that, just normal stuff, corners, throw-ins, that sort of stuff. And what happens is you get a little card. It's a virtual card, it's on your phone. 3 lines of 5. Every time one of these incidents happens, ding, get a little tick on it. Basically, you get a line, you get some money. You get 2 lines, you get some money, get a full house, you get even more money. We've lost count. I mean, we've actually lost count. 70, 80, 90 winners, just from you guys that watch this who have won on Match Bingo. It's £2 per play. I mean, even if you were to go and try and just do all the England game, then the most you could spend is £6. So it's gambling, but you can't spend loads and loads of money. It's a little bit of fun as well, but it is gambling, so you've got to be 18 years and above. That's not the only one with an offer on it, by the way. The Netherlands game has also got the same offer. Buy 3, get another 2. So, yeah, to be fair, five cards, pretty cool. There's a lot to watch. Just make sure you carry on watching the game. Links in the description below, by the way. If you've not downloaded the app, literally scroll down on this description. It will say Match Bingo. Download here. Click on it and download the app. But get your cards. But got to get your cards in before the game starts, obviously. Oh, it's a big one for Gareth Southgate, isn't it? Again, at the point of recording this, just finished watching the Germany-Spain game. A game of high drama, and certainly, in parts, well, pretty much all the time from Spain, and in parts from Germany, a game of high technique. Just listened to Gareth Southgate. It wasn't a press conference. I think he was in an interview with ITV. I'm not saying he's buckling under the pressure. He's had enough. He doesn't want to do the interviews. I've spoken so many times on this channel about managers when they've just had enough, when they've lost their love for it. So many times. I'm not going to do the usual speech I do about the managers that have, but you can tell when they have, and I think he does need to get a bit of a spring in his step. I pretty much Roy Keane made the same point, actually. He's going to need to try something different. Apparently, he's going to try 3 at the back. I don't know how true that is, by the way, but going to try 3 at the back. Is he going to bring Luke Shaw back? I don't know. I was a little bit concerned with the whole Cole Palmer situation. There's nothing wrong with Cole Palmer. Cole Palmer's a really good player. I'm not being bitter about it. I wish West Ham had signed him. Let me just say that. I think they're all good players. I really do. I think pretty much everyone in that England squad is a really good player. I'm not pretending otherwise. But Cole Palmer, for me, is not a fast winger. And it's just on occasions, as England, Freudian slip there, really needed that. I think, I'd be looking to get him more central with playing him at all. I still think Bowen's a really good option for him if things aren't working. I really do. I think Bowen is direct, he's clinical, and he will run straight at a defence, which is something that England may well require. I'm not advocating, by the way, that Gareth Southgate starts with Bowen. I probably wouldn't do. Hopefully, go and watch the video last night if you've not seen it. We did a little England preview, myself and Gio. I think he probably still needs to mix it up with strikers. I'll go with Watkins and Kane up front and then build from there, quite frankly. Get a little bit of a blend in. Otherwise, England are going to go out of these European Championships with a bit of a whimper. There's some really good players, some really good teams in this tournament. And look, Southgate looks fed up. I'm bloody fed up. There's a lot of people who are fed up with it. I know I've mentioned it before, but I can't ever really remember such a lack of sort of national pride and passion, in and around a major tournament for England. I really can't. That the pubs are quiet, as I've said. There's not seeing that many flags around. There seems to be a bit of a downer on the whole thing, and I don't think that's because just people are generally more miserable, this year than 2 years ago or whatever. I just think there's a lack of joy in the team, and I think a lack of belief, and that's why those games, those Nations League games, are there to help you not only bed down your system, but give the fans a bit of encouragement. And getting whooped by Hungary is certainly no good preparation for an international tournament. So I'm hoping for something. It's not just I hope England get through. I really do. There's no hiding. If you get whooped by Switzerland, there's no hiding place. Switzerland are a better team than England, but I think the point is they shouldn't be. They don't have the players at their disposal. And if England don't get through against Switzerland, it's not because of the players' footballing talent. All right, it's really not. There are majority of the England players would get into that Switzerland team. So then it comes down to either the players' mentality, either work rate or tactics. It can't be anything other than that. Really. So there's a lot of pressure on Southgate. I hope he goes out. Well, I hope he doesn't go out at all. I hope we stay in. But I hope he comes out fighting. I think that's what I wanted to say. I hope he comes out swinging, basically. It really is. It's like that last round for the boxer who's down on points. and his corner are saying to him, mate, you're gonna need a knockout now. Yeah, John Fury, come on, they're my boy, the Gypsy King, a fighting man. Sorry, I don't know, I can't help myself really. But you know, you need a knockout. Get out there and knock him out. Give him the furious one. And I think that's really what. Can you imagine if Gareth Southgate? That's what he needs to do. He needs to get John Fury in there. He starts probably John Fury starts sort of headbutting the ball boys and stuff like that, wouldn't he? But bit of something. Come on. Let's have a bit of something. Bit of passion. For some fighting men, 11 fighting men. Bit of that going on. I'm going to stop because it's very hard for me once I start a bit of the old furious stuff. It's hard to stop. So I'm going to leave that now. I'll catch up with you half an hour before kickoff. Charlie will take you through the watch along. It's 5 o'clock kickoff tonight, so I'll see you at 4:30. I think I'm going to go and make myself a nice cup of tea now. And on the process of making a cup of tea, I'm going to have an argument with myself as John Fury and maybe I'll do John Fury giving Gareth Southgate a pep talk. Catch you later.